Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. Hello, and welcome to Let's Sip and Talk with Freema on this great Wednesday. I hope everybody's having a great work week, redeeming themselves from the holiday with all that eating we did over Thanksgiving. Get back into it because I know I messed up. But I'm going to start that jump rope. Anywho, today we have on a special guest. Her name is Jasmin Kelly. She's an entrepreneur, influencer, and I just want to pick her brain to see how she became successful because she rose to the top very quickly. And it's awesome to see, someone in my, let's say, not hometown, but close to me. I'm in South Carolina. She originated in Charleston, South Carolina. So we're going to talk to Jasmin Kelly and see what she's all about. So without further ado, let's bring on Miss Jasmin Kelly. Hello,
Hey,
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fine. First and foremost, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come on and talk with us today. So,
Okay.
for the ones that may not know you, Jasmin, can you give us a little background on yourself? Who is Jasmin Kelly?
So I'm a Charleston native. Um, I am 29 years old. I started I guess my venture into business with a clothing store in 2014. I had that for I had the clothing store for about 8 years.
Oh,
Um,
wow. Okay.
we we migrated and we ended up having two. We had one in Goose Creek and one in Charleston. So it was, it was a success. We did that for, like I said, 8 years. And then I moved on to business development.
Okay.
Um, that's where I started to help other entrepreneurs begin business for themselves, establish their own businesses, help people structure themselves in the right way so that they could be successful as well.
Well, that's awesome. And that's a great way of giving back by sharing knowledge. And that's something that we try to do on this show. So, what do you think made you decide, you know what, I want to help others build their brand? I want to help others become entrepreneurs. What made you decide one day to get up and say, this is something I want to do?
So I started to feel like I was like I don't know, I've always been academically inclined. So I
Mhm.
started to feel like I wasn't having a clothing store just wasn't challenging enough for me. I just felt like I could do so much more than
Right.
own a clothing boutique or two. So I just wanted to do something that would be more challenging for myself. And I also wanted to problem solve. I wanted to help other people solve some of the problems that I was seeing.
That you were saying. So let me ask you, by doing this, what is one of the main things, or however many you decide to share with us, that you notice when you start helping individuals become entrepreneurs? What is some of the things, the common things that you notice that was a trend or that was a problem with others becoming successful?
Mainly, and this is another reason why I ventured off of this too, because I no longer do this. But mainly for me, it was very discouraging to see people's mind state and the lack
Mm.
of wanting to change. Like most people are so stuck in their ways, and it's hard to like redirect an adult when
Right.
their character is kind of habitual. So it's for me, it was just the mind state. It was hard to pull people out of a certain mind state. Instead of
Mhm.
having faith, there was a lot of doubt. People would give up. And I was just trying to encourage people that it gets better, it gets greater later. But some people it works, and some people it doesn't. And I understand that everybody is not going to understand the assignment, but for me, it was really discouraging to have 50% of the people go on or flourish versus 75 or 85.
Right.
So eventually I gave that up as well.
Because
Well,
that can become draining.
say it again.
I said that can become draining.
Yeah, mentally it did become so. I just was like, I have to do something that made me happy. It made me happy to do it, but like you said, on the other end, it was mentally draining. So
Right.
started to, fall back on that a little bit more. And then I got into short-term, short-term rentals, which is what I do now.
Okay, so before you go into that, Jasmine, something that I do want to say, when you were mentioning, you just didn't have that oomph, like you didn't feel fulfilled. Like you said with the clothing store, you wanted more. And that's what a lot of us need to start doing. Start being comfortable, being uncomfortable. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because a lot of us just sit in this mode and we're comfortable where we're at, but we're not being fulfilled. So we're scared to take a leap of faith. So for the viewers that's watching, Jasmine's not only named 1, 2, but 3 ventures that she stepped out on, and she did it. So, learn from this. It's okay to try. It's okay to say, you know what? Hey, time for me to move on to the next thing. But you did it. Don't ever live in that what if. What if I would have? What if I would do it? Just do it. So you said you're into rental. You said, was it temporary rental?
Say it one more time. You were glitching.
You say you're in rental now?
Short-term rental.
Okay, how does that work?
Yeah, so I rent my places through Airbnb, and that's solely, that's where the majority of my income comes from at this point.
Oh, wow. So is that something you teach as well on how someone to get started with the Airbnbs, or this is something that you just solely do and that's just that? Because I know you're probably tired of teaching, but I'm curious.
Yeah, so I started off just doing it myself, to take a break from everything else, and then I began to teach it.
Oh,
And
okay.
then I ran into the same problems where people wouldn't fight for the things that they wanted, and I don't know why. I guess maybe I need to stop letting this happen to me, but it frustrates me because I know what the result could be.
Right.
People won't fight for it. So to me, again, it just kind of became discouraging, and I just fell back on teaching.
Right.
Now I surprisingly now, I don't promote that I teach anything.
Okay.
I don't promote any of my courses, but I still have people taking them. And
Gotcha.
I kind of just, put out the outline and say, hey, I don't want you to spend your money if you're not going to apply yourself. So if you're going to give me $600, just be that person that wants to apply themselves, or I just, encourage them to spend their money for
Right.
something they really want, and not just to spend their money. So
Absolutely.
surprisingly, that is about 30% of my income, teaching and powering courses. Although I don't promote it, and I don't say much about it anymore, but people are still taking my courses, and people are still paying for them. And yeah,
Right.
so
Well,
yeah.
they see, the proof is in the pudding. We all know that saying. So they see what you're doing. So sometimes, you don't necessarily have to promote it itself, but by you doing it, you put it out there as far as what you're doing, what you're gaining, that's showing them right there. So the ones that really want to do it, they're going to find you, they're going to enroll into your program and make it work. And it's probably a little less stressful because for the ones that's going out there getting it, not because they see it, marketed everywhere, but because they say, hey, I want to do this. I heard she's good, or I see that she's excelling. I'm
Yep.
going to do it. You see what I'm saying? So they're go-getters.
So that's literally, that's exactly what I want for myself. I want people who will, if they're willing to come and find me and figure out a way to get in contact with me, they really want it. And
Absolutely.
those customers are ending up being the best fit for me. So
I agree 100%. I must say, I don't know you personally, but I have seen you on my timeline,
Mhm.
so it's like you're very inviting. You're very, okay, she's very interested. I want to learn more. I want to see more. I want to know what Jasmine's about. And that's why I reached out to you. So continue to do what you're doing. You're doing a great job at it. Hello,
Thank
Melvin. Thank you so much for tuning in. Lovely Ashley said, Jazz with the heart.
Mhm. Hey, Ashley. I love Ashley.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure if y'all have some questions, make sure you put it in the comment section while we have the lovely Jasmine on. So Jasmine, how long have you been doing the the rental properties?
So honestly, I've been my focus has been on this for about, I would say, about almost 2 years.
Okay.
But just kind of like passively, like organically, I feel I've been in the rental business since, let's see, about 2014, because I ended up I purchased a home through like a tax lien auction,
Mhm.
and I ended up, for, like, I had the title and outright owning it, and then I didn't want to live there anymore. I decided to move, and so at that point I was renting that place out, but I never really, said I'm in real estate, or
Right,
I'm
right.
renting out stuff. But so honestly, it's been since about 2014, but essentially my focus began on that for, like, it's about 2 years almost.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's good. That's good. And so I see yourself in, where do you see yourself? Look at me saying I see yourself. Because I can see you going, like, you're already doing great things, and I can just feel that I'm going to continue to hear your name. Decades and decades from now, leaving a legacy. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
You know what? That's a good question, because I have literally been thinking a lot about that, for myself.
Mhm.
Just to have some goals for myself. And I really don't know, because I have learned that everything things for me work better organically. It's like I just kind of,
Go
I
with
just
the flow.
I
You kind of
focus whatever I'm doing at the time, and then things just happen and it shifts, and you never know, something just ends up happening and you're doing something else. You-
love it.
I wouldn't say I don't have any goals, but I've learned to just sit back and kind of just allow things to take its own course, because you can plan all day, but I've
Right.
never made a plan that goes exactly how I want it to go. It kind of just does its own thing. So I'm here,
Absolutely.
I'm just here for it. I just want to continue. For me, I just want to continue to help other people become financially free, and, live at peace and not struggle and stress about, the regular life things. And that's it for me, honestly.
And there's nothing wrong with it. It's a great way to be, because you're so, you know, to me, living like that is less worries. You know, you know something great is going to happen. I think a lot of people say living on faith. Correct me if
Yeah,
I'm wrong. Like you're positive. You have a positive mindset. And I
correct.
think a lot of people need to learn how to be, because when you think negative, it's okay to think about the what ifs, but let's think about the what if this great thing happens to me tomorrow? What
Right.
if I become a millionaire tomorrow, instead of what if no one buys from me? What if, so I
Right.
can tell you're very positive. So I hope people are just learning, just by listening to this interview, that it's okay to say, you know what, great things are going to happen to me. I may not know the next 5 years, but I know it's going to be great.
Right. Absolutely. If you'd asked me 5 years ago where I would be, I would say I was probably gonna own a few more clothing stores in other cities or states. And so,
Right.
I just don't know. So
You just don't know. You're just doing it. I know that much. And
yes.
again, never be scared, viewers. Never be scared to jump out there. Never be scared to change it up. If it's no longer for you and no longer fulfilling you, it's time to jump to the next thing, and that's fine. We have
Absolutely.
a question for you, Jasmine. Red Herring said, a question for Jazz. How do you stay focused and motivated? Is there something that you do in your daily routine that helps you? That's a good question.
There's nothing that well, I guess maybe this could work. I do have I have an app on my phone, and I put in what I want to do for the day. I give myself some tasks, and that kind of helps me stay focused. When I wake up in the morning, it's almost, because I work for myself, so I still have to hold myself accountable, and I still have to, act like I still have a boss. I can't just be winging it. I use this planner, and it keeps me on time, and I knock out my task. The other question was, how do I stay motivated? I think that so me personally, I feel like what keeps me motivated. So I have a daughter that's 12,
Okay.
and I think I feel like a lot of things that I've done or that I do influences who she is.
Mm.
And for me, a lot of I really would love to be the parent that my daughter says my mom was, somebody that she can look up to. So
Right.
that keeps me motivated. I have a son and a daughter, but more so my daughter because she definitely mimics my entire character. So
I definitely understand. My
yeah.
daughter's 13, so I get it.
And then there's also people who follow me and who support me, and those people as well. Those people keep me motivated. It's people that always show up, like Ashley. No matter what I'm doing, she always shows up. So I have to show up for them because they show up for me.
Absolutely. And doesn't that feel good to know that you actually have genuine support out there? Who would have ever thought, you know?
Absolutely. I don't even know why these people like me, but it's cool. It's cool.
I definitely understand you question it, but it feels so darn good. It really does.
Yeah.
That means you're doing something right. So continue to do that.
Thank you.
So it's one thing that I ask all my guests before we end, because I try not to keep anyone too long because I know everyone has a busy schedule. So for the little Jasmines out there, such as your daughter, who say, okay, I want to own a boutique or I want to help individuals, what are some motivational words or encouraging words that you give the ones that is kind of scared to leap out there? What would you tell the little Jasmines in the world?
If you never try, it'll never happen.
Mm,
It'll never happen. If you never try, it'll never happen. And you cannot let things that don't work discourage you, because that is a part of the process. And honestly, I feel like some of the battles that you fight during the process makes it so much more what's the word that I want to use? It
valuable. You cherish it more. You
yes. So I
all
feel
that.
like just embrace your journey and whatever you're doing. And I just feel like everybody, if you have a plan or you have an idea, just try it and keep trying. Don't ever take no for an answer, and just embrace the journey, because when you do get it, it's gonna feel so good.
I love it. I love it. You gave us some great pointers tonight, Jasmine. I appreciate that. You know, it
Thank
just felt so real and genuine. So I know some of us learned something from this. One thing I always say on Let's Sip and Talk with Freema, I don't care if I feel like I reached one person by having, a guest on sharing their journey. I feel like we did our job, even if one person felt it. So I appreciate you. Is there anything that we did not discuss that you would like to put out there in the universe?
Nope, you did great.
You did great as well. Thank you. So that pretty much sums it up, you guys. Viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure y'all share the video. Jasmine gave us some great feedback. And as we always say on Let's Sip and Talk with Freema, peace and love.
All right.